up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Finally, we're reacting to some George Carlin. Now, some of you might know who George Carlin is or was actually, and some of you might not. Now, I don't know how you couldn't. You must be living under a rock if you don't know who George Carlin is. George Carlin, probably one of the best, most offensive comedians that had ever lived. Now, if some of you are very overly offended, this guy's not for you. But for most of us who grew up through this era of George Carlin, we were born with a thing called thick skin. It must be something in the soil today because kids today don't have it at all. All right, then, without nothing further, until I gotta do my reactive stuff and pause it and give you my feedback, George Carlin on prisons. Oh boy, here we go, man. I'm not responsible for what he says.
Hey, I got a lot of good ideas. Balance the stupid fucking budget. Here's another idea. I'm going to save you a whole lot of money on prisons, but at the same time, we are still going to remove from society many of our more annoying citizens.
All right, there's
four groups are going away permanently.
All right, so 4 groups permanently go away to prison. Who would you pick? Put some comments down below. Make sure you're liking this video. That tells me you love George Carlin, love comedy reactions. Make sure you're subscribed. You tap the notification bell as well so you get notified when I'm live or I drop new videos, especially like this. 4 types of people that should be locked up. Pedos, murderers and rapists, of course. Let's see who else. Crooked politicians. That should be number 3. And I'm on the fence about number 4. Oh, maybe I got a great group of people who should be locked up in prison. Teachers who indoctrinate our children and think it's funny that they're doing the parents' job and they're hiding stuff from parents. Yeah, they shouldn't just have their teacher's licenses yanked. They should be in prison.
First group, violent criminals. Here's what you do with these Emmy Award winners. You take the entire state of Kansas. You move everybody out. You give them a couple of $100 for their inconvenience, you know.
Not with today's inflation, George.
You move them out, you put a big 10-story electric fence around Kansas, and Kansas becomes a permanent prison farm for violent criminals. No parole, no police, no supplies. The only thing you give them is lethal weapons and live ammunition so they can communicate in a meaningful way.
All right, so George's pick is violent criminals. Yeah, absolutely. Today, I wonder, oh my God, what's going on in the world today with the no cash bonds and letting all these people run riot. I think George Carlin would have a smorgasbord of material to make new comedy jokes on. Could you imagine if George Carlin was alive today, what he would say about what's going on in the United States? Oh my gosh. And he's talking about just give the residents of Kansas a couple $100 and send them on their merry way. A couple $100 is not going to get them very far, George. Not with the inflation at a record high.
Then you put the whole thing on cable TV. The Violence Network, VNN. And for a corporate sponsor, you get one of those companies that loves to smear its logo feces all over the landscape. Budweiser will jump at this shit in half a minute.
You like that?
All right, next group, sex criminals. Completely incurable. You gotta lock them up. You could outlaw religion, and most of these sex crimes would disappear in a couple of generations. But we don't have time for rational solutions.
Yes, absolutely. I think violent criminals, these kinds of criminals definitely belong in prison because they're predatory. And who do they prey on? The most vulnerable, the most innocent children, especially oh Lord, man. People like that cannot be rehabilitated, and you will never change my mind. It's a shame. It really is a shame. And like Cain Velasquez, I praise him every day that he took matters into his own hands when his son was preyed upon. And I think what he did was 100% justifiable. How you about to go and touch some MMA fighter's little kid and expect to come out unscathed? Somebody's absolutely crazy there if they think that they're going to get away with that. Cain Velasquez shouldn't even been arrested. He's been finally freed on $1 million bail, but we have people all over the country, these rogue DAs, rogue judges, rogue prosecutors, just letting people out on no cash bail. And what happens time and time again, that we've seen what happens when they don't protect society from people like that. They reoffend, and much worse. So I can go on and on about this. It's true. You can look it up. The no cash bail reform and the Safety Act, what's going to be going into effect January 1st in Illinois, this is absolutely going to backfire. And I hate to say it, but there's going to be casualties. And I'm glad I live in Ohio.
Much easier to fence off another rectangular state. Rectangular states are cheaper to fence, saves the taxpayers money, you know?
Who is it?
This time, Wyoming.
Oh, geez.
But only for true sex offenders. We're not going to bother consenting adults who like to dress up in leather Boy Scout uniforms and smash each other in the head with ball-peen hammers while they take turns blowing their cat. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. It's a victimless hobby. And think of how good the cat must feel.
Oh, come on.
No,
Don't
we're
do
only
that.
going to lock up rapists and molesters. Those hopeless romantics who are so full of love they can't help getting a little of it on you. Usually on your leg. You take all these heavy-breathing fun seekers and you stick them in Wyoming. And you let them suck, fuck, and fondle. You let them blow, chew, sniff, lick, whip, gobble, and cornhole each other until their testicles are whistling, "Oh, come all ye faithful."
Oh, my God. Look, man, what do you guys think? I need some comments down below. Do you think those types of people do they rehabilitate? Are they capable of rehabilitating? I myself think no. No, they are not capable, because they have I think it's more so a control thing, a dominance thing, a power struggle that they have within themselves, that they have to prey on the weakest forms of life, meaning children and women. You know, it's absolutely absurd that these people are allowed to roam our country free. I think besides the registry that they have, on which most of the time they don't register every 90 days with their local sheriff's department, they should be tattooed. They should have a pedo tattoo across their head. Or, like George said, we can just lock them all up. Did you guys know that there's a Louis Trudeau, his name is, he did a special on a California hospital that these types of criminals go to after their prison, and they do all kinds of tests on them, and they're still reactive to imagery of children, and they keep them there beyond their sentence, which I think is a good thing. What are we supposed to do? Let people like that out? We need to protect our children with everything. And speaking of protecting children, I had mentioned earlier that I think that these teachers that are indoctrinating our children, man, what do you think that's doing to kids, to their minds? It's not opening their minds. No, it's confusing the hell out of them, and it's stripping that right away from us parents, that, you know, we know our children, we know how they think, and we know how to teach our children and teach them to not become prejudiced or hateful. Just saying. But these kinds of people, they do not rehabilitate. You cannot change my mind on that. Just saying.
Then you turn on the cameras and you got the Sperm Channel.
Ew.
And don't forget our corporate sponsor. We're going to let Budweiser put little logo patches on the rapist pants right here. This pud's for you.
Ew.
All right. Next group, drug addicts and alcoholics.
What?
Not all of them. Don't get nervous.
Oh.
Just the ones who are making life difficult for at least one other person. And we're not going to bother first offenders. People deserve a chance to clean up. Everyone will get 12 chances to clean up. Okay, all right. 15. That's fine, and that's it. If you can't make it in 15 tries, off you go to Colorado. A perfect place for staying loaded. Each week, all of the illegal drugs confiscated in the United States that the police and DEA don't keep for their own personal use will be airdropped into Colorado.
Now, like, I think what we need to do is start looking at the fentanyl crisis and taking it serious, because 300 Americans are dying every day. And I think that shows that we need to close that border. I'm just saying, y'all, this has become an epic, this is absolutely a crisis of epic proportions, an epidemic of epic proportions, where 300 Americans are dying every day. 300. Pick up your local newspaper, look in the obituary sections, and if you don't see at least one young person every time you open that paper, they're hiding something from you. Because I can open the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and every week I could see young person, at least five a week in just the local newspapers. Now, the ones that aren't accounted for, the homeless and the ones that the families can't afford to put them in the papers, you know, they just go unnoticed. But there's 300 people a day that are dying. And alcohol is so dangerous, because when is the last time you've seen a pothead driving the wrong way on the freeway and killing a family of 5? Alcohol is illegal. It's advertised everywhere. And if you abruptly stop drinking, if you're an alcoholic, that is going to be all bad for you. Like, and when you are a drug addict, take it from me, I went to prison for 3 years for a nonviolent drug offense, and getting help. Oh my God, I was there for 2 long years before they even put me in a treatment program. And I had to stalk the guy on the yard, the guy that ran that Hearts program, which was a rehabilitation program for drug addicts. And it was insane. So we need to reform that in the prisons too. If you are there for a drug problem, if you have a drug problem, you should automatically get treatment.
And we're going to turn the Coors Brewery over to the beer-drinking assholes, and everyone can stay wasted, wired, stoned, bombed, hammered, smashed, and shit-faced round the clock on another new cable channel, Shit-Face Central. This is the real Rocky Mountain High.
Oh, because of Colorado.
Okay, I've saved my favorite group for last. The maniacs and crazy people. Yeah. The ones who live out where the buses don't run.
The ones that are a couple fries short of a Happy Meal.
I distinguish between maniacs and crazy people. A maniac will beat 9 people to death with a steel dildo. A crazy person will beat 9 people to death with a steel dildo, but he'll be wearing a Bugs Bunny suit at the time. So you can't put them all away. You know, you got to keep some of them around just for the entertainment. Like a guy who tells you the King of Sweden is using his penis as a radio transmitter to send anti-Semitic lesbian meatloaf recipes to Soupy Sales and Marvin Hamlish. A guy like that, you want to give him his own radio show.
Oh, yeah, that'd be entertaining.
No, the Maniac Farm will be reserved strictly for hopeless cases, like a guy who gets a big tattoo on his chest of Liza Minnelli taking a shit.
Please say New York.
You know?
Please say New York.
If he wiggles a certain way, it looks like she's wiping her ass, you know?
Please say New York. Don't say Ohio.
A guy like that, you want to get him into custody as quickly as possible. Now, for the Maniac Farm, I think there's no question we got to go with Utah.
Oh.
Utah, easy to fence. Easy defense, right next to Wyoming and Colorado is right next to Kansas, and that means all 4 groups of our most amusing citizens are now in one place, except for the big fences. And I think I have another one of my really good ideas for cable TV. Gates. Small sliding gates in the fences.
Oh, they can.
Think of
Oh,
what
yeah.
you got here. Think of what
Oh,
you got.
boy.
Predators, degenerates, crackheads, and fruitcakes. 900 miles of fence separating them. Every 50 miles, you put a small sliding gate. But the gates are only 10 inches wide, and they're only open once a month for 7 seconds. And you know something? Fuck cable. This shit has got to be on pay-per-view.
Yes.
Because if those gates are only open 7 seconds a month,
Oh, imagine
you are
that.
going to have some mighty interesting people pushing and shoving to be first online.
Yeah.
Deeply disturbed, armed, cranky lunatics on drugs. You know the ones. A lot of tattoos, a lot of teeth broken off at the gum line.
I'm good there. I got my teeth.
The
I'm
true face of America. And every time you open the gates, a few of the more aggressive ones are going to get through. The creme de la creme. The alphas. They're going to get through, they're going to find each other, and they're going to crossbreed. And pretty soon you have a melting pot.
I mean, did any? Oh, there must be women included here because apparently, if George Carlin today knew that there are people out there saying that men could get pregnant, oh my God, I guarantee you he's rolling over in his grave right now going, what the fuck?
Child killers, corpse fuckers, drug zombies, and full-blown wackaloons.
Wackaloons.
Wandering the landscape in search of truth and fun.
Oh my God.
Just like now. Everyone will have guns, everyone will have drugs, and no one will be in charge. Just like now. But at least we'll have a balanced budget.
Great. He's absolutely brilliant. You guys, that was George Carlin on prisons. What do you guys think? Give me some comments down below. Did you like this reaction to George Carlin? If you did, throw a like on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the notification bell is tapped as well. And you leave those funny comments down below. This is the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time, George Carlin. Oh my goodness, man. What a funny guy. And today I could imagine what he'd be saying with the world going crazy today. All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Laugh a little bit. That's all you got to do is laugh. This is jokes. This is comedy. Come on. I am not afraid to laugh. And if you're so focused on everything that's offensive and that makes you just every morning someone's peeing in your cornflakes, guess what? You're not living. Carpe diem, seize the day, make the most out of it, be happy, be joyous, have much laughter as humanly possible, because we are only on this earth one time, once. I ain't gonna sit there and be offended over everything. Oh no, and I'm not, and I'm also gonna stand up for what's right and what's wrong, because I got things called good morals and values today. I didn't always have those, so it's really fun having those today. All right, you guys, make sure that you do throw a like on this video, because if you want to see more reactions to George Carlin, I'll do them, but only if we get those likes up. And you could also, in the comment section, you could drop some links or your favorite George Carlin, and I'll react to it. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves. My name is Just Jen. See ya.